I haven't done a Bounty Acquired episode in so long, so I gotta do this right. There we go. That worked. Hello, welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to Bounty Acquired, my VTuber talk show where I talk to VTubers. I still don't have a tagline, okay? This week we are joined by the wonderful Pomatomaster, sci-fi VTuber, lover of rats,
Yes.
and Bethesda's official VTuber.
Yeah, well, for Starfield at least they've got a couple now, but I'm still the Starfield one. No one's, you know, I don't know if anyone wants, but no one's taking that from me yet.
That video that you put for the Starfield launch was so good.
Yeah, it's just hard. I don't know how to replicate it. That's my issue now, because like there's other things I'd love to do, but I have to figure out something else, because you can only really do something like that once.
Yes, yeah,
right?
Of course.
Yeah, I was like, oh fuck, what can I swear on the channel?
Yes, you,
okay,
yeah,
cool.
you can, yeah.
I just like immediately dropped an F-bomb and didn't even okay. Anyways,
yeah, we're usually say so, but at the same time I do still swear, but my caveat is that Bounty Acquired, just due to the nature that it is a VTuber talk show and I am interviewing, you know, VTubers of other natures, I usually kind of mark it as 18 plus kind of thing. So
no, that makes sense.
But yeah, welcome on in. This kind of we have this show and it's very freeform, it's very chill, so like I never have a structure. I always like maybe try. I feel like as the show evolves I will probably have some sort of structure, but usually it's really just a really nice way for me to get to know people and get to know, you know, VTubers who either I followed for a while or mutuals or just completely new. I mean, we've known each other, I'd say probably a couple years. I feel like it's like, I think I first like came across you. This is gonna be like so weird, but like in the Kawa Discord server.
Was that where he really?
I think that was.
There?
Yeah, because I remember being in there with Pingu, and then like you kind of just showing up in there as well. But I think ever since that, I've kind of just been, you know, lurking in your streams and seeing everything that you've done. So, yeah, I mean, I'm so glad that we could arrange something and you know, get you on the show. I know this was something that we wanted to do before. I guess this is going into our first segment, but before your subathon.
Oh, God,
I was like, hey, you know, let's see if we can do this. And you're like, sure, you know, I'm starting the subathon, so maybe in a couple weeks. I'm like, yeah, that's great. And I check back in, you're like day like 50, like day 50.
I ended it. I had to end it because like I am very lucky. My community is very generous, and it would have gone on forever. Even if I had like increased the cost per minute. Yeah, I still fear it would have gone on forever.
I think I like tuned in on like day 40 and you had like 219 hours left.
Yeah, well, because it was just kind of like a slow start, and at first I was like, wow, did I screw up? Did I like set the goals too high? Did I like, you know, I set like all of this too low? I was like, nope, never mind. Actually, never mind. But yeah, no, I capped it. I ended the subathon when we had 300 hours on the clock.
Oh, man.
We reached all of our goals. So now I'm in an era that I like to refer to as my time debt era, where I still have the timer up on the screen just counting down. You just can't add anything to it. I want to just show people how long it was going to freaking take for that thing to count down.
Yeah, and that's even without people adding to it as well. So
yeah. Well, because I know what would have happened. We would have gotten to like eventually we would have gotten to maybe like 10 hours or something. And then someone would have swooped in, dropped a bunch of money, and I would have been back up to 300 again. Like, I can't do that. We need to end this. It's losing steam. I need to stop this right now. So
yeah, I mean, so that was for your 2.0, right? Your model refresh.
Yep.
And that how did that all go for you? I know like 2.0s are, everyone does them differently. I'm currently very slowly going into a 2.0, which we can talk about a little bit later. But your 2.0 was very much just like, hey, here's the model you know and love, but like better. And I really love that. I think it's really cool to be like, hey, we know you love this model and I love this model, but let's make it better. So yeah, how was that for you?
I mean, it was great. It was paired with the end of writing a very extended thesis. So it was like a very nice, like, symbolic moment, because it was the end of one chapter and quite literally the beginning of another. I've been like working towards this for a year and a half to 2 years. Like, I was thinking about it. It took almost 2 years from the drawing of the concept art for the new outfit to like it actually being rigged and done and all that. And now, mind you, I didn't think it was going to be that way. I thought I was going to finish my thesis a year early. I thought everything was going to be done so much sooner. I actually thought I was going to debut before I even started writing my thesis, but things got pushed back, as is the case with, you know, Vtuber stuff and commissions. But yeah, no, it was really good, and I didn't want to change artists, right? Because, like, I like my artist. I think my art is good. I enjoy it a lot. I just want to, like, update the suit a little bit, get a better helmet, and get a new outfit, and then majorly upgrade the rigging, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's so interesting, because I feel like this is, at least for me, one of the cases where I'm so familiar with a model, but then like seeing it like get a rigging refresh is so cool to me, because it's like, yeah, everything is a lot more expressive, and it's like, it's not like your original rigging was bad, but it's just like, it's just like, it's time for a change.
It wasn't bad, especially considering that it was my model parents' like first full body rig, and possibly their third rig ever. But they've also majorly improved since then. Right?
Yeah.
So it was like, it was aged, right? It had been years. It was their first, like, you know what I mean? Like, they did a great job at the time with the skills that they had then. But things have changed, right? So it was like, okay, I'm gonna refresh this. I want to be more expressive. I want more body movement, which obviously, like my hips did not used to move like at all. But I saw kind of early on, I encountered Kurama, kind of before he really popped off in the VTubing space. Like, they had just won an award for their rigging for a VTuber named, I can't remember their name. I think they're like a hyena VTuber.
Okay.
But like, they had just published a showcase for that and won like a VTube Studio.
Oh, cool.
Live 2D. They won a Live 2D award for that, and I saw that thing, and I saw that showcase, and I'm like, oh shit, that's great. So I think I like messaged them, and I'm like, hey, like, when are you opening? And they kind of gave me idea, and I saw their prices, and I'm like, this is so reasonable. Right?
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to be angry at you.
No, I was like, are you okay? Did you like
a wire hit my keyboard, and I was just like, I'm really mad at you now.
No.
Sorry, continue. Yeah.
But like, I reached out to them and I saw their prices and I'm like, this is really reasonable for what they do, because as you know, like, really good rigging can be like $5,000.
Yeah.
Or like $6,000. Like, it was still expensive, but it wasn't as expensive as I thought it was going to be.
Sure. Yeah.
So
yeah, you kind of have, especially when you're looking for riggers, you kind of have this like predetermined cost in your head. You're like, oh, their rigging's so good, it's got to be, you know, this number, and then you go and you're like, wait, that's it. So like, I planted my ass firmly on their application. Like, when applications came out, I put my name down. I think I was one of like 90 applications at the time. Oh wow.
And I think it was because I had reached out earlier.
Sure.
And like, I had done that like earlier reach out, and they like, the art wasn't too complicated. That was a really big thing. Even though like I have a helmet and all that, it wasn't. It was kind of within the realm of something they were interested in, so they accepted me. And that, I feel so lucky, because after they accepted me, they worked on this male VTuber model. I think it was Callisto. I'm forgetting names, but it was a male lean. Right? It was one of the first really good male leans, and Kura went nuclear after that. I'm like, and now it's they are like very booked.
Yeah.
And it's like almost impossible to like get them, especially because they have a lot on their plate. But I'm like, I was in the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
Like, thank God, man.
That's
So,
awesome. We have a question from chat. Seraphic Warden asks, any advice for getting a model? Any do's and don'ts from your personal experiences?
yeah. So obviously, first thing is a question. Is have you streamed before? Because if the question is answer is no, then don't get a model. Don't get a model. Get a PNG. You can commission a PNG. You can get a pre-made booth model. You can get a customizable model. Don't get a custom VTube model. I know plenty of people have. All that. I don't recommend it because you have to first make sure that you like streaming before you dump a lot of money in. And if you dump a lot of money in before you know if you like streaming, it's a sunk cost fallacy. And even if you don't like streaming, and even if you're doing bad and it's awful for your mental health, you will push yourself to keep going and like absolutely burn out because you've invested that money, right? So
I was PNG gang. I started with a PNG. I think it was like almost a year of just like streaming with a PNG. Which has been like I love it. I think it's really cool. But I guess this customizable models is quite topical right now because we have that Suica model that's kind of blowing up, and it's a really, really cool thing to see. Kind of people have that lower barrier of entry. So yeah, I think it's weighing your options. It's like also like what kind of style you want as well. This is something that my 2.0 is experimenting with, where with my 2.0 I've decided to go away from the typical anime style, and I'm choosing a more stylized, comic-y, cartoon, almost cartoony thing. And it's so interesting because it's like there are, luckily I'm fortunate that there is people in the community that are in that kind of subsection of, I think people will call them Tubers, which I think is really cute. It's so cool to have people, people like Bug, Bug, and like Miss Lala is also kind of in that. Basil Wolf is one of my biggest inspirations for going that route. So I think it's really important to kind of just make sure that if you are going down that road, that you have something that is like wholeheartedly you and what you want to kind of express yourself with.
But just for like commissioning, so if you've streamed before, you like streaming and you're like going into commissioning a model, obviously what you said, figure out what style you're looking for and what speaks to you. You want that because if you do not relate to your character, if you don't like your model, you're gonna have a hard time. I've seen it over and over again where people do not like, they'll commission something that they think that everyone else wants, and then they don't like it themselves, and there's a lot of like emotional like inner turmoil that can actually carry over to stream, which is not good. You never want that to happen. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But, so there's that, and there's also, my biggest advice is always just like do your research, right? I mean, everyone has different budgets, but don't immediately go to like the most popular rigger and the most popular artist, because you'll pay a pretty penny for it, and it might not be worth it. Honestly, it might not be worth it. So like, do take the time, do the research, don't rush anything. If you like a rigger but they're fully booked, look at who that rigger is promoting, right? Because there might be some new people on the scene that they're like busy retweeting or liking their stuff or whatever, and you can be like, oh, okay, so this person has a lot of potential, right? So like I took a lot of time to do my research for my model, and because of that, my first version of my model with rigging was $500.
Oh yeah, wow, that's crazy. That's insane.
Now obviously this is much more money, but like the initial one was $500. So.
I mean, I guess continuing on the whole VTuber thing, you have recently been part of the new VTuber Creator Club initiative on Twitch. How has that been? Because I saw that been announced, and I was like, oh cool, let me check it out. And then I look at like the founding members of the VTuber kind of club, and I'm like, oh wait, there's Pomato, there's Rainy, there's Lala, there's Bug. Like I know all of these people. I'm like, this is so cool to see. Like, how was that experience kind of working alongside Twitch to create this new space for existing and upcoming VTubers?
It was super, super cool and like entirely unexpected. I just got an email one day and I'm like, oh, is that really someone from Twitch staff? I'm like, okay, they want to set up a meeting. They want to talk. I'm like, okay. It was very clear like this was legit. I'm like, goddamn. And the fucking craziest thing about it was that it had nothing to do with my streaming. It was because of my hot takes on Twitter. That's why they reached out. I'm like, really? And they're like, yeah.
We Twitter.
We saw your tweets, and we were like, you like seemed really grounded. And I'm like, really? Because all this time I'd been operating under the premise that like, and I still think this is the case. Like, tweeting too much about drama is bad, and it's only harming me. And God, Pom, you really need to stop doing that. And I have. I've done it. I do it far less because honestly it's just bad for my mental health, but to know that it actually had an upside is like crazy.
It's like conflicting. You're like, oh no.
Like, oh wow. But they liked my viewpoint. Like, they thought that I was really grounded. I'm like, that's awesome, that's so complimentary. And then we just talked about like, we had a bunch of meetings on like club stuff and like what to look out for and like what VTubers like want, like that sort of thing, because it is the VTuber community is such a unique space, with a lot of nuances and a lot of things to like look out for and to be aware of. So I don't know, it was actually pretty casual. And then once they set up the Discord and everything, it's just been more of a like advising on things that they might want to add, or there's even like an advisory channel in the VTuber Creator Club like itself. And we can just like answer questions and stuff like that, which I think is really great. Also, I think they did a great job on choosing the founders, not obviously just talking about myself, but like all the other founders, like you said, are people that are well recognizable, people who I consider like very grounded people in this space. I really think they did they did their research. They did a fantastic job. There was like no one that was selected there that I'm like, oh, why would, you know what I mean? Like, oh, I know that person's been embroiled in some garbage before, or oh, I've seen some bad takes from them. Why are they on the team?
I feel like
nope.
Everyone on that list is like super just genuine, super passionate in everything they do. I feel like all of those creators, the ones that I knew and then the ones that I kind of learned to follow afterwards, were like super passionate about getting their message across. I mean, both Rainy and Lala have both been on Bounty Acquired, so I've had the pleasure to talk to them personally, and yeah, I mean, everyone on that list is like, it's just like, hell yeah, like these are the people to kind of help cultivate this side of the community. So it was really cool to see.
Well, like I've had great conversations in like VC with Rainy. I've not personally talked with Lala, but like I love Miss Lala. We've kind of like been orbiting around each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Same circles.
Fallout VTuber, right? If I'm like the Starfield VTuber, she's the Fallout VTuber, and she's super genuine and super lovely.
Yes,
I'm friends with Neko Miki, so when I got, the founder thing and she got the founder thing, we were like Spider-Man pointing at each other, like, excuse me.
Wait a minute.
Like, like, what the fuck? Like, hello?
Yeah.
And everyone else, is like someone I've recognized for the most part and was super familiar with. And like, again, Big Nose Bug, Blaze at Midnight. I actually never encountered Spree, but now I know Spree. Onsta.
Oh yeah, Onsta's amazing too, man.
Yeah, just like everybody in like it's a group of 9. I looked into this the other day, but it's a group of 9, and everyone on it is just like, again, super well grounded. Just I think a solid influence in the community. So I think they
awesome. So I mean, I guess what have you been playing recently? What's been what you've been I think I saw you playing Alan Wake 2.
Yeah.
Have you been working your way through the Remedyverse?
I have been working my way through the
How are you
Remedyverse.
liking the Remedyverse?
I'm enjoying it a lot. So I got pulled in with Control because again, oh, it's a
Okay.
sci-fi game. Whoa, and
Yeah.
Control was great. And then I was told, hey, all these games are made by Remedy, and they all kind of have to do with each other, and you
Yeah.
should try. And Alan Wake 2 is a great game. So I played Alan Wake 1. It was clunky as hell. I did not enjoy it that much, but the story was good. I really hated the gameplay.
Yeah.
Like we got through it, and now we're on Alan Wake 2, and I'm enjoying my time. And then once I'm done with Alan Wake 2, I'm gonna play Quantum Break. You know?
Okay.
I have some friends who are like super passionate about Remedy stuff, so like I've been learning all about it. You know,
It's so
Sam
cool.
Lake and all. The
yeah.
Game Awards.
I think they slowly became like one of my favorite developers / publisher. I played the original Alan Wake when it came out, and I really loved it for its storytelling. You know, gameplay was a bit goofy, but I mean, I was lucky to play it on launch, so it was like nice, yeah, hell yeah. And then it took me. I did play Quantum Break, you know, a couple years after it came out, but yeah, Control was one that I was like, I knew about Control, and I knew I've heard good things. I was like, I gotta play it, but I never actually played it until after I played Alan Wake 2. So so I played Alan Wake 2, and I'm kicking myself because I'm like, I really should have played Control before. I mean, it definitely helped. I did, after beating Alan Wake, I did go back and play Control. I'm like, this is so cool, and I'm so glad that they're, you know, continuing to work on stuff in there. I haven't played either of the expansions of Alan Wake 2 yet, so I need to get into them. But yeah, I don't know, it's like super I don't know, something about it, like the liminal aspect of it. And you know, another one of my favorite games, like Stanley Parable. I feel like they have some
play that.
You should, like, Ultra Deluxe, I think is it's up there in terms of favorite games. It's just fantastic.
Good to know, because it's a short game too, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're spending I think you're probably spending a good 10-15 hours to experience everything.
That's not bad. Yeah.
But then there's like they have so many joke achievements, like play the game for the entirety of a Tuesday, like it's like
what? Okay, gotcha.
And then they had, so in the original Stanley Parable, they had a achievement called Go Outside, which is to not play the game for 5 years. I legitly unlocked that achievement. Like I got it, like legit. Ultra Deluxe came out, and they released this an achievement called Super Don't Go Outside, which means I can't play it for 10 years. Now, of course, there's people who cheat the achievements in and stuff like that, but I'm determined to like 100% that game.
Goddamn achievement!
So I can't actually open Ultra Deluxe until 2032.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I mean, it sounds like a game that like you don't have to play. Like, once you're done, but it's still kind of like,
it's
you
still
gotta remember to do that in 2032, right?
But the thing is,
remember.
The funny thing is I beat Ultra Deluxe before I started VTubing, so the achievements aren't on my VTuber account. So I'm conflicted. I'm like, do I start it again 3 years later, or do I just keep going?
Yeah, I think you gotta commit, right?
I think so. Yeah. But yeah, I love that kind of stuff. And kind of adding on to that stuff, like Severance is a big thing now.
I have to watch that.
You haven't seen it? It's so.
I haven't,
it's
like I've seen a lot of clips on TikTok, so.
It's like my favorite TV show, like, of recent years. It's so good, and it's really one of those shows where you're like, you don't want to tell people about it because it's like. Just like going into it blind is, but I
can't go into it blind. I've seen clips. I know I've been spoiled by the clips, but the clips are going to make me watch it, right?
Yeah, for sure. But I feel like that I feel like Severance has a lot of like Control vibes as well, which is
Mm.
really interesting.
No, that makes
Um,
sense. Like based on like the set design and stuff. I just really like with Remedy specifically that they take risks, right?
yes,
Like there's a lot of things that like
the
every
live
game is
action stuff.
doing. Yeah, the live
Ugh,
action stuff, the musical sequences, the kind of like artsiness of it that's like really present in like Alan Wake 2. The fact that they straight up have a man's full out junk just visible immediately in Alan Wake 2 unless you put safety undies on that man. Like that's crazy. And then it
yeah.
shows up persistently throughout the game. I'm so happy I was told to put the safety undies on that man because I realized just how much I'd be seeing that man's nuts otherwise. I'm like, okay, thank you for warning me. But Sam Lake, I like how Sam Lake inserts himself in everything.
Yeah, it's so funny.
Just such a cocky piece of shit.
It's it's so funny. Like,
Mhm.
I think it's just like because his like his face was like based off the Max Payne. Max Payne was
Yeah.
based off him, so like
Yeah.
that smugness from Max Payne just like radiates from his character as well, and it's just so
I've
funny
never
to see
played
him.
Max Payne,
I
but
also have
I
never.
know they're
I've not played it.
remaking it.
Yes, I think
They're
that's
remaking it.
I'm going to wait because I also Max Payne are the only Remedy games I haven't played, and I'm like, I was debating going back and being like, oh, do I play them now? But then I heard they were planning
They're
remakes.
remastering it. Yeah, I'm like, I'm just gonna play the new version
I'm
of
just
it.
gonna
I
wait.
don't, after playing through Alan Wake 1, I'm not doing that again. I don't have to. I'm not doing it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. I've really enjoyed playing the Remedy games. It's been like really refreshing. Also, it's somehow my chat has tricked me into playing horror games, which is great.
Oh,
I'm not a horror game person. I keep
you are now.
I made it for the lore, and now I've played both Soma and Alan Wake 1 and like a bunch of Alan Wake 2, and I'm like, come on, man. Like it's good, but like why?
I mean,
Why?
that's like it's a good track record for horror as well. Like Soma is also another very provoking, like thought-provoking game, and like
Oh yeah.
like mind-blowing. Like whoa, at least you're getting some good stuff in there. It's not like you're playing
Yeah.
like I don't know some random like Granny or something.
Well, like I'm just like kind of pivoting onto Soma. I always get baited into things by being told, "Hey, it's a really good game and it's sci-fi," and I'm like, "Sick, that's great for my stream."
Count me
and
in.
It's not super long. Count me in. I agreed to play Soma without knowing that it is a horror game made by the same people that made Amnesia. I didn't know that until like the day that I launched the game. And I'm like, "Oh, great." In retrospect, I kind of wish there's a safe mode of it. I wish I had played the safe mode because I really don't feel like the horror elements, like the being chased down, added to the story at all. But the story itself is so strong, I don't regret playing the game for a second. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it makes you like question humanity and like all of this stuff, and your ethics. I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
This is powerful.
It's really great. It's really great. So of course, your kind of big thing, going into like how you structure your streams. Your big thing is like sci-fi games, right? Like, is there any like other rules you kind of put on your streams, or how do you kind of decide on a weekly basis, like what are you doing? I know No Man's Sky is something that we're
that's huge too.
really gonna mention here as well, but I'd love to know your thoughts.
So basically, again, I mostly play like sci-fi games, sci-fi space games. There are deviations from that, like Alan Wake 1 and 2. Control fell into that a little bit. I played Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. That was not sci-fi at all, but it was a fun game, so it didn't matter. But it's mostly just RPGs. I like first, third person RPGs.
Gotcha.
And besides that, like, there are other mainstays, so I'm very well known at this point for playing No Man's Sky. I love No Man's Sky. It is one of my favorite games. I've been playing it since launch, and I've been doing consistently kind of like anytime there's an update, I will play it on my channel, and especially when twice a year they do these things called like they do drop campaigns. And that's where I get a huge amount of my audience from. It's almost like a debut every single day for like 5 days in a row.
It's crazy because I have also been playing No Man's Sky since launch, but like
Hmm.
I've kind of not jumped in as much as I'd like to have. Like I've missed a
Hmm.
bunch of expeditions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I did jump into the Titans expedition that started. I finished
Hmm.
the first phase of it. I need to like go back and just beat it all, but
Yeah, it's an easier one, so like it should be
it's
not too grindy.
yeah, it's just crazy to see. I mean, again, I've played it since launch. I still haven't beaten it. I need to beat the
Well,
game.
you never really beat No Man's Sky.
No.
That's the thing, right? Like there
Yeah.
is a story technically, and like yeah,
Yeah.
there is maybe a point you could be like, okay, that's the end of the quest line, even though it endlessly repeats, but it's
Yeah.
kind of secondary. It adds to like the game itself, but it's not mandatory. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it's just really cool to see. Yeah, like you said, like if your channel is known for No Man's Sky, those big expedition, those big Twitch drop kind of moments that happen, every once and now and again are huge for
Oh
growth.
yeah.
Like how
Well, like more so than I ever thought, right?
yeah,
Like when I
like
first started doing it, it was a boost, but like, I don't know.
like
I'm trying to
how
remember.
do you mentally like kind of prep for that too? But are you like, oh, okay, thank you, Sean, we got another big Twitch drops here, I'm gonna stream for like 12 hours? Or do you kind of
Yeah.
just be like,
Hmm.
whatever? Are you like a different version than your normal self, just
Not
knowing that there
yeah.
are more kind of more eyes on you, more new people asking very specific questions about the game? Or is it kind of just
Mm,
you've been doing it for so long that you're like,
really.
yeah,
Yeah, well, like the numbers are really high, but you have to like keep in mind it's almost like being on the front page. A lot of the people that are there are not like actively watching, and my
they're
chat is
there,
like a
yeah,
hellscape, right? It would be a really big deal. Like it would be a much bigger deal if I had like 1,000 people watching and I had the chat of 1,000 people,
yeah.
right? Because that's overwhelming.
It's
That's
very
I
much
can't read chat,
so. It's very
right?
much so. There's new Twitch drops. I'm gonna go to the No Man's Sky category. I see this person at the top of the
Mhm.
category. I'm clicking
Yep.
on them, and then I'm
Yep.
playing Marvel Rivals.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So like
Yeah,
it's not really that much different. Like again, I've kind of gotten this down to a T. I know it happens twice a year. I generally know around when it happens. I try to clear my calendar when it happens because I would like to do every single day.
yeah,
But I don't really have to change that much because I'm already an endurance streamer, right?
right.
So
Yes.
like I think every single day it was like 8 hours, and it was truly no skin off my back except for the day after.
Yeah.
All 5 days when like my voice sounded like absolute dog water. But I'm a endurance yapper. I can talk for long periods of time. I can stream for long periods of time, and that
Yeah.
doesn't really change for the No Man's Sky streams. It's exactly the same, except maybe I'll like push it a little bit longer. And I'll
Sure.
start like an hour earlier than I usually do, and that's about it. Otherwise, it's pretty much exactly the same. I'm just fielding more questions about like the game itself than I might usually.
Yeah.
And like kind of reintroducing myself to people because like you gotta assume that a lot of the people in your chat like they don't know who you are, so you gotta be like,
Sure.
here are some things that the rest of my chat have heard 3,000 times before, but I'm going to talk about them again because I know a lot of you haven't, right? So
Sure. Yeah.
but it's I don't know, it's super cool because when I initially started doing drop campaigns, it was, yeah, I want to grow, blah, 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 blah. And maybe, I don't know, was I like a 50 CCV streamer and I was getting like 100 viewers. And I'm like, whoa, that's
Yeah.
crazy. This is awesome. I'm so happy. And then the next time it was like, I was closer to partner numbers and I was getting maybe like 150, 200. I'm like, yeah, this is amazing. And then I think it was like last August or last June. This, not the most recent one, but like the one before that.
Yeah.
And I was in like the 200, 300s. I was like peaking at 500. I'm like, wait, what's happening? Wait a second.
There's
Wait
too
a
many
second.
slices.
Wait, there's too many
wait.
slices. And I saw a big boost in like viewership afterwards as well, because like I knew that I did get people from the No Man's Sky drop campaigns, but
Yeah.
it was, like a handful of people. It was like a
Yeah.
5-person increase, 10-person increase. But that time it was like a 30-person increase. And I'm like,
yeah. Whoa.
wait a second. Well, because like everyone will tell you drop campaigns don't help your long-term growth because they mostly don't.
Yeah.
But in my case, I think it might be an exception. A, because it's a genre that I usually play. My
Yes.
theming is correct.
Yes. Yeah.
And again, it's like I play games in the genre, so people like stick
Yeah.
around.
There's a lot of
right?
overlap. You're like, okay, they're here for No Man's
Yeah.
Sky, but then they're like, wait,
hmm
you know, she's in a spacesuit, sci-fi,
Yeah.
you know, all of that
Mhm.
stuff, and it's like, oh, you know, there's Starfield and all of this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like there's a lot of overlap that can happen there. So that's really cool to hear.
Yeah. But like this time, the most recent time, it was bonkers. Like I
Oh,
can't
really?
use any word
'Cause
besides bonkers.
that was recent. That was it a couple of weeks before Titan
It was
Expedition?
it was a week before Titan dropped. It was actually supposed to be. It was 2 weeks after Titan. So sorry, Worlds 2 dropped, and the Titan
Yeah.
Expedition dropped like 2 weeks later. It
Yeah.
was supposed to happen sooner, but they were doing a rerun of the Cursed Expedition, and it was glitched out.
Yes.
So they added another week.
That's that's correct.
Yeah, so this happened. The drop campaign happened at the very end of January and beginning of February, and I was peaking in the thousands, and I'm like, what? Like not the thousands, but like 1,200. Right?
That's
I'm like,
crazy.
what? Like
It's
some
like
days it was,
every
like,
time you do
700,
it, it's
800. I'm
doing
like,
more.
Yeah,
it's
I'm like, what? Like, I thought I was gonna do well. I didn't expect to do this well, and it kind of reached the point where I was like one of the top streamers in the cat. I was always a top VTuber whenever I was streaming,
Yeah.
right, by like a mile. But I was one of the top streamers, right?
Yeah.
One of the top 3, which is great. Like that's. If you're
It's
like,
it's
oh, no,
insane
she
as
must,
well.
She must know that she deserves that. No, I didn't. I was like, what's happening? I don't understand.
It's crazy as well because you know there's some streamers, some like variety streamers who hop into those, you know, drop campaigns. I know like Carnage is like one of the big ones. It's like he's
Yeah.
very variety focused and he pulls like thousands of viewers, but like yeah, and just to be up there with like those people, it's like
Yep.
what is happening? Like what is actually happening?
I was never the top person. But like as a VTuber, I was very happy with where I was because I know that as you know, we put ourselves in a niche when we do this. That I was still up there even with potentially what people would consider a debuff of a VTuber avatar in like a sci-fi community. The fact that I was up there was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I knew that I was pulling non-VTuber fans because people would pop in and it was my favorite sentence to see the first time chat. Wow, that's a cool avatar. And you're like, oh, you're not a VTuber fan. Like, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I get those
Hell
comments
yeah.
all the time on TikTok, like how do you do that 3D character or like all of this stuff, and you're like, I actually have a TikTok kind of pinned to my page that's like, oh, how to become a VTuber. So usually I just direct them to that, but like, it's so funny to like see people who aren't familiar with the kind of community just be like, hey, what is that? Or hey, that's cool. I think it's even cooler when they're like positively kind of, it's like so cool to see that because you could very well be someone's, you know, gateway into the VTuber community or even more so like into someone becoming a VTuber. Like it's crazy. It's really cool. So
it's super cool to see. It's very complimentary. And like, I don't know, it is one of my favorite things to see, you know, because it's one thing if a person watches VTubers because they like VTubers. It's another thing if a person isn't really into the VTuber space, but just likes you as a content creator, right? And stuck around because they like you as a content creator. Because there is a weirdness about this to a normal viewer,
to the outside,
right?
to the outside, outside looking in, there's always, I feel like there is always going to be a stigma around it, you know, like
it's
every
anime,
community,
right?
Yeah.
Like it will progressively become more mainstream, but it will always be a little odd, and that's just because like all of this is a little odd. If you step outside of the online space, right, and you go touch grass, you realize a lot of people don't watch Twitch in the first place. Lots of people don't even they'll watch like Instagram reels, maybe TikTok, like stuff like that, but then they like watch TV and like Netflix and shit, maybe YouTube. They're not watching Twitch, right? So Twitch is already weird, and then you add on top, like live streaming is weird, then on top of it you add you are a anime character that is being trapped, right? And your bazungas are bazungaing, and you got a tail and ears. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, we've added. You are sticking yourself.
There's too many layers. There's too many
layers. Yeah, too many freaking layers. So when someone chooses to watch as you despite the layers, it's like, this is one of the highest compliments I can ever get.
For sure.
And I'm just gonna like kind of go back to the Starfield stuff. One of the most impactful things of that whole like VTuber representative things, it was kind of, I've talked about this before on my own channel, but it was a realization point, you know, like a come to Jesus moment where it was like, that was doing really well. That video did really well, and it escaped the VTuber sphere, right?
Yes, it burst the bubble.
It burst the bubble, and I was making connections with a bunch of like Fallout and Bethesda fans and creators. And I realized that this entire time I had been operating under the goal of like, or operating towards the goal of, I want to be a good VTuber, right?
Sure.
But I don't want to be a good VTuber. I want to be a good content creator, right? And I think that's a really important distinction to make, because I feel like it's really easy to get wrapped up in the VTubing space. Like, again, you are going towards a different model type because you realize that might be more your style. But initially when you join the space, you're like, okay, I gotta get like an anime character.
It's crazy.
I gotta do that. Even if it doesn't suit you, even if it's not something you'd ever do if you were like showing your face, you know what I mean? If that's what you wanted to do.
It's crazy how much like just being in the space, like if I had the knowledge I had when I was starting out, like I think things would be like way different. But at the same time, I'm grateful, you know, for the experience. Yeah, exactly. So but I'm also like before I kind of committed to like being like, okay, I'm going in this direction, there was a lot of apprehension, like even just because of the community, because it's like, well, there's not many people doing this. Why isn't there many people doing this? Like there has to be a reason. So I'm glad I kind of broke through that, you know, with the help of the, you know, the Tubers, you know, Basil and Bug and all those people. I think just they can just be, you know, be seen as VTubers despite having not falling into the conventional anime thing. And I think that's really important to be like, just to understand that distinction and be like, okay, there's people doing this, so it's okay. And I'm excited. I got a very, very early look at my like 2.0 sketch, and I was like, oh, okay, like this is good, because it's like when I'm approaching an artist, I'm like, hey, I want this, but it's like, what is this? Like, how do I explain? And like, it was so hard to explain to my artist, to be like, for me, I was like, it's kind of a mix between like Guardians of the Galaxy and like Ratchet and Clank.
Right.
Like a really, it's like I want it to be sci-fi, but I want it to be bright and colorful. I want it to be like stylized,
like high contrast.
Like cartoony and stuff like that. So I mean, I worked with Gure Pion, a wonderful artist, who did my 2.0 character design, and seeing that and then kind of going into the direction of more comic-y, cartoonish, I'm on the right path. And luckily I mean,
it looks really good. It looks really strong. Like, I'm gonna say that as an outside observer. It looks really good. You know what I mean? And it looks like fun. So I don't see any problems with going in this direction.
I'm just switching gears into like more, I guess, tactical thinking. How has growth been for you, and what things have you seen working, and what things have you you know, everyone says don't worry about the numbers, but then there's also a part
worry about the numbers.
There's also a part of you that's like, you always want to innovate, you always want to kind of you know, try new things. And I guess I'm just tossing it over to you, like, what have you seen in terms of like community growth, like do well, or which platforms and stuff? And it's just throw that question over to you, and in hopes to give people watching, and also me, because I love to take people's ideas to use them. Yeah, what's been fun and what's been working for you, and
Yeah, so unfortunately, the original thing that I did that gave me the boost that I needed, that eventually got me to partner, I don't even know if it's viable anymore, but it was posting on Reddit. It was posting memes on the subreddit, the virtual YouTuber subreddit, many moons ago in 2022.
I remember. I think I remember DMing you because I also tried that, and I was like, "Hey, look, it worked."
Yeah.
So yeah, Reddit. That's interesting because it's not the first platform that VTubers think of.
But it's the social media platform I've used the longest. I've been on Reddit for like 10 years now, right?
Yeah.
I never used Twitter before I started VTubing. I never used any of this shit before I started VTubing. So like, I remember I was trying to make it work on Twitter, and I was really going nowhere, right? Like back then, I'd get maybe 10 likes on something, and I was like, this sucks. Everything sucks. I remember my original debut trailer. I think maybe got, I don't even know if it got 100 likes, honestly. Like, it might have been just shy of 100, and I was so disappointed by that. And my debut, I think, so when I was a facecam streamer, I had a 10 viewer average, right?
Okay, yeah.
And that is a number I had maintained for like 4 years, doing nothing, putting no effort in. And then all of a sudden I put all this effort in, and I started VTubing. And then after my debut, where I had a 30 viewer peak, I had a 15 viewer average. And I'm like, oh, that kind of burns. Like, I invested money in this. I tried. Why isn't this working? So while I was trying to figure out my stream stuff, I eventually caught wind that there was this virtual YouTuber subreddit, right? And I just started posting memes. Well, I think initially I had posted my model reveal stuff there, and it hadn't done well because, like, who cares, right? But
I feel like especially Reddit, like Reddit's like
it's just
audience
not a good place to do that, right?
Reddit hates when you try and sell something to them.
So I love memes. I love meme culture since the days of meme base, where I used to live my life in like grade 9. I love memes, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make a meme. So I started making memes, and they were self-promotional, right? So it's like the type where like you insert your face into it.
Yes, yeah.
They started doing really, really well, and all of a sudden, even when I wasn't streaming, I was getting like crazy boosts in like Twitch followership.
Oh,
and
wow.
even YouTube like subscribers, and I'm like, oh shit. So my Twitter wasn't doing so well, but I was starting to grow on Twitch, and it took time. Like, it didn't happen overnight, but I started consistently posting memes, like almost to a point of like, I don't know if it was every day, but it was like almost every day.
Oh wow, okay.
And it was at a time where no one else was doing that.
Were you bulk creating, or were you like, okay, I'm gonna post a meme today, let me just make it now?
I would make them every night at like 3 a.m., you know, and then I would go to the lab and do grad school stuff, right? So I was posting my memes every day. And again, people were promoting themselves on that subreddit, but no one had done like the consistent meme self-promotion thing, right? They were like posting the same things you would post on like Twitter, which are like kind of engagement bait, lower effort content.
Sure, I feel like everyone's done it.
I mean, I've done it to some degree. But I started doing that. I think it's fair to say I was the first person to start consistently doing it, and then a few more people started picking it up as well, because they saw it working for me. And now the subreddit is what it is now, which is promotional hellscape, and I'm so sorry.
Oh no, you were the catalyst.
And a lot of people there don't know I'm the catalyst, and that's fine, because like I took a big ass break. But a lot of people that use the Reddit still remember me for that. But because of that, I built a Reddit following, so Reddit still does well for me. Reddit now, if you're new, is very hit or miss. You can post something and it might do really well, but it also cannot do as well because there's more competition, right? And the way Reddit works, it's not like Twitter where you have like infinite people to like your post. Reddit works by upvotes and downvotes, and that subreddit in particular is all about who's at the top of the subreddit, right? If you're at the top, it's like what you were mentioning earlier about the drop campaign thing. People will click on it. People click on the subreddit, see the posts, like maybe the top 3 posts, they'll engage with those, and then they'll leave.
Yes, yeah.
Right.
Because they're just like scrolling, they're like, haha, and then it's like, okay, time to go.
So like if you are 4 posts down, you're not going to get as much engagement. 5 posts down. So you
Yeah.
want to be in one of the top. You need a lot of upvotes fast, right?
Yeah,
So, if that happens because you have a really good meme or something, you're good, right? But if you sit there and no one's upvoting your post, or if someone like fucking downvotes it immediately, your post can be toast, right?
Yeah.
You are quite literally in competition with everyone else. So let's say you have a really banger meme and you post it on the subreddit, but something major has happened in Hollow Live.
Yeah.
Your post is going nowhere. Your post is going nowhere, right? So it's a very unique environment that you gotta learn to navigate. But that is what initially gave me a boost. Reddit gave me a chance when no other platform was.
Sure.
And then I started doing better, obviously, on Twitch, and then that converted better to doing better on Twitter.
Okay.
Obviously, things are different on Twitter now, and everyone's not doing so great. But like, you know,
yeah, I think I remember
Yeah.
posting about this Bounty Acquired episode and checking back like 3 hours later, and it's like it's got 100 views. Like,
Yep.
it's
No,
got
it's happening
like,
to me too, though.
It's got
It's so
2
bad.
likes.
It's been really bad for like the past half year, maybe like past 4 months, especially. I'm like, what is
Yeah.
this? Sucks. I hate this. I hate this so much.
I've been really enjoying Blue Sky a lot better.
I like Blue Sky as well. It's just it will never be what Twitter is at its peak, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Because Twitter at its peak, you go bonkers. Like, for example, I posted art of my honkers. They are covered honkers, but not by much. And I don't usually post stuff like that, but I have posted like suggestive art before, and it's
Yeah.
done okay. What is it sitting at right now? It's sitting at 8.4 thousand likes.
Likes?
Yeah,
When did you post it?
yesterday.
Oh man.
Yeah, so
Wow.
Twitter whack. I don't really. Again, I've gotten no luck recently, and then that happened. I'm like, oh,
Boom. Yeah.
well, okay. I guess they were good honkers. Thanks, guys. Very cool. Thumbs up. But
Have
yeah,
you
no.
seen any other, platforms rise up? I know, like, I love TikTok. I think
Mm-hmm.
TikTok's like, I mean, it's once again, it's very hit or miss. Like, it could
I
do.
think you know this as well as I do. TikTok is great on TikTok, and it's so hard to translate that to growth literally anywhere else.
Yeah,
And it
like you
fucking
can get.
burns.
You
Mhm.
like like a video could get like hundreds of thousands of views, and then like
Mhm.
like 1 or 2% of that comes over to you. Like,
I
it's-
remember there were a couple people who were like the big VTubers who specifically grew on TikTok, but then you went to their Twitch and they were sitting at 20 viewers, right?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't translate. People on TikTok don't leave TikTok, and I would know this because I use TikTok, and I'm sure you've done the same thing where you've been watching a video and like you think of a question, you don't leave TikTok, you just type it into the TikTok search bar. You literally don't leave the
Yeah.
app, right? It's designed
Yeah.
that way. So
It's
Yeah,
I there's so much, like, I feel like there's so many like button presses for someone, especially on mobile, for someone to get from your piece of content or from your TikTok stream to the place where you want them, like Twitch or whatever. I mean, even like Twitch, like TikTok, even like suppresses you if you say the word Twitch. Like, I've heard
Right.
that stuff. I've heard it like suppress VTubers. Like, there was this
Yeah.
thing with TikTok Studio that I've been using it recently.
Mhm.
And like, it's like, hey, it appears your camera's obscured. I'm like, what do you
My
mean? It's not.
camera.
It's right here. And they're like, we can't let you go live without like a visible camera source. I'm like, it's so dumb. So I had to like
Yeah,
virtual
really.
camera like my OBS and then like
Mhm.
overlay Shoost on top of it to be like, okay, this
Oh
is.
my god.
It's just like so backwards. But
That's so irritating.
yeah, it's weird. Like TikTok,
Right.
you can do good on it, but it's very hard to.
You do well within the ecosystem of TikTok, and it doesn't really go
Yeah.
so far outside of that.
I-
And as a Canadian, I make no money off of TikTok.
Yeah, because the creator program, right? It's not.
Yep, we don't have the creator program,
That-
so
that-
functionally, TikTok is somewhat worthless to me as
It's-
a creator.
It's
right?
weird though, because I think my TikTok account is still UK based.
Oh, so are you in
because
the creator fund?
well, I haven't reached that point yet, but I have like
Mm,
I can see the requirements and stuff like that. And
right.
it's like, and all of my, anytime I get currency on TikTok from like lives or whatever,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's in pounds and that I'd have to
Right.
convert. So I think I'm lucky in that, but I still need to get to that 10K
Mm-hmm.
threshold. But I'm curious to
Yeah,
see
yeah,
what
yeah.
happens when that's there.
Yeah.
Because I mean, to be fair, if I had the opportunity, if my TikTok grew in a way and like I was able to go full time with TikTok streaming, I wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
mind that. But
Yeah,
at the
no,
same
of course
time,
not.
I would never like, I still don't think I would completely ditch like Twitch or
Mm-hmm.
something. Like I
Right.
feel like now more than ever it's important to have multiple.
Multiple, yeah, your
Yeah,
fingers in
and
multiple
I
pies.
I keep trying. I'm gonna make it like a thing this year to try and do more YouTube centric
Mm-hmm.
content. A lot of my YouTube content is just covers, and
Right.
that's okay, but it takes time and money to
Mm-hmm.
do covers, and you can
Mm-hmm.
argue it takes time and money to get fully fledged edited YouTube video as well, but there's
Yeah.
got to be a way where I can find the best of both worlds, and I
Well, I
think
think it's all about conversion, in my eyes. So if you spend money on a video, but it will bring in more people, then
yeah,
it's worth it.
sure,
Whereas covers can be more of a passion project just because it doesn't really reflect what you do on stream.
yeah,
At least that's my viewpoint of it, right? Like they can be fun,
yeah.
they can
I
be a good
mean,
time, they can even do really well, but it's more of
yeah.
a passion thing, right?
But I mean,
Values
there
come out.
is things like I do karaoke on stream as well, so I guess it would be a case of maybe I would do more karaoke on stream if covers
Mm-hmm.
were kicking off, or find some way to pivot. But at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, yeah, I think I've before I was a VTuber, I did a lot of scripted content on YouTube,
Right.
and I'd love to get back into that. I mean, I had
Mm-hmm.
I had like a fully written video, like scripted video for
Right.
my VTuber channel. I was like, the more I thought about like getting it to editing and finishing it, the more I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to put out this video, and it
Yep.
sucks because there's a lot of time that goes into that. For context, it was a retrospective on Rayman Raving Rabbits
Oh, really? Okay.
on
Yeah, yeah,
on
yeah.
on like the Wii, like
Yeah.
how like it was kind of it was more of a comedic retrospective on like what that game was at the time, and the mini games
Mhm.
and stuff like that. So I recorded
Right.
like I had footage of the whole game recorded,
Oh
and
my god, okay.
I had like just short paragraphs on each mini game. And it
Right.
was going to be like, yeah, probably a 20-30 minute video, but
Right.
the more I like tried to finish the script, the more I'm like, I don't see this like coming out, or you kind of lose passion for something you're working on.
Mhm.
And it sucks, but I think we just move forward from that. I want to work
Yeah.
on I want to work I think I want to work on like video game content on YouTube, but it's really just finding
Yeah. Well, like
the
that's what
what.
I've been doing. So again, Reddit gave me my initial boost. I've been getting subsequent boosts from like random other things, like potentially some stuff on Twitter. I did a genetics of sex video that has been done super well, like an educationally sciencey video.
Yeah.
The Starfield thing, obviously,
Mhm.
and No Man's Sky drop campaign. So like all those stuffs have like things have given me like little boosts. But then
Yeah.
I never really put that much time into YouTube, but when I re-debuted and started making money with the Pomathon,
Mhm.
one of the first things I did is I started investing money into videos.
Okay, yeah.
Because I really do think that longer format videos are the best thing you can do for yourself as someone who's on Twitch.
Yes.
So that's literally the main thing I'm investing in besides like any like model stuff is like
yeah.
edited videos. I don't have the time. Well, I mean, I could have the
That's
time.
the
but, like,
thing. Yeah.
So I
It-
hire an editor. I have hired editors. I have 2 that I work with, and they are great, and they do the
Mm-hmm.
work for me, and I pay them. But to get to this point, I had to do well on stream.
Yeah.
Right? So it's kind of, you either have to have money for it to do it that way. You
It's
have
a
to have money coming in from your
catch-22.
work, or you have to have it coming in from stream. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, it's like, oh, I want my streams to do good, but I need to get good videos, but I need my streams to do good to get good videos. So it's like a
Right.
catch-22 kind of thing. But yeah, no, I definitely want to there's like so many creators on YouTube that I watch, and I'm like,
Mhm.
man, like it's so cool. And even from stuff I've created before, like I'd look back on a video and be like, this is a really good video, even if it got like 200 views. I'm like, this is
Right.
like a good video, and it exists on the internet. It's like permanent content that like new people can come to and binge watch, and then just be like, oh,
Well,
this.
like, even if it doesn't do really well initially, it has the potential to pop off later, and it can still randomly bring you a new viewer occasionally.
Yes.
And that's more than your streams are going to do sitting in a VOD channel. So I think it's worth it. And also, I find that people that come from YouTube are like already kind of committed to watching you. You know, they're already excited about you.
Yeah.
They're excited to watch. You don't have to sell them anything.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to sell them your personality. They like your videos. They're going to stick around, right?
Yeah.
I've done like a combination of things. I've done some like shorter highlighty videos, which are most of them have done well. My most recent videos haven't done as well as I would have liked, but they're still over 1,000, so I'll take my blessing there.
Nice.
You know, I'm not gonna complain about that. But I've also started doing more Let's Play style content.
Okay.
For the shorter games that I play, because I'm still playing Starfield. I'm never making a playthrough of that because I've been playing it for like what, 2 years, year and a half. Like it's too long. But I did one stream where we played Kerbal for the first time. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
And I made a video about that, and I called it. It was a great title, I gotta say. I really popped off with this one. I'm really proud of this. It was, can this scientist or can this biologist figure out Kerbal or something like that? Right.
I love that you have that you know, what's the word? I guess accolade to fall upon. Like it's such a cool.
It's a selling point.
It's such a cool thing, but it's such a cool thing to be able to put in like you see those videos. It's like, oh, can a lawyer figure out Phoenix right, or like that kind of stuff. It's so cool to just be like, oh yeah, like check.
Well, I
like,
had to think long and hard about like why would people watch this? You know, if you're just like Pom plays something, people are gonna see that. Who's like, who the fuck is Pom? I don't care who Pom is. Moving on. But if it's like, hi, I'm a scientist, they're like, okay, well maybe. And I literally had someone tell me that like they specifically found me because they were looking up scientist plays. And
oh
like,
wow.
Oh, okay, perfect. Thank you so much. But that video, which was like 15 minutes long, which was a longer video for me at the time, the longest video I'd ever put out. It got so far it's I think at like 23,000 views.
Oh nice.
Which for me is excellent. Is
It's
it 100,000 views? No, but I'm very happy with my 23,000 view video that got me YouTube partner.
Especially for gaming as well. Like gaming is such a big thing on YouTube that like having not only a game from like 12 years ago, but also
it has a cult following. People fucking love that game,
and people hate the second one as well.
Oh yeah, I can't. That game is dead in the water. I'm never touching it. I mean, I think it still bricks PCs, so I'm not touching it. But
yeah, I think it's really cool.
I've done since then. I've been working on a multi-part Soma series, which is because that was 3 streams, so that was shorter for me as well. That's been hit or miss. The first video I put out got like almost 8,000 views. Yeah. The second one got 1,200, and I just released the third one today, so we will see how that one does. I'm crossing my fingers, but I figure it's worth it even if it doesn't perform quite as well, because it is the evergreen content, right? Yeah. People will always be looking up Soma Let's Plays, always. Yeah. Right? It's something that will slowly grow with time, and I'm cool with that. So. Yeah.
What are your opinions on, because this is something that I've done before, not as a VTuber, but before when I was, just Facecam streamer. And 2, something that interests me so much is like, something that I want to do more as well is have one stream per week dedicated to it becoming a video. Like the stream concept and how like the stream is like structured and everything is just solely for a purpose of being uploaded.
I think that's smart. I think that's a good idea, especially like again, you were talking about the problem of like you wrote a whole script and then you kind of got like wrapped up in the details. I totally relate with that. It's part of the reason why, like, I would have loved to do script content. I might still do one day do scripted content, but I have big ADHD brain, as you probably understand. And like the concept of writing, just I get stuck, man. You know,
Yeah.
I get so stuck. And unless I'm really lucky and enter the hyper focus zone and just pump the entire thing out at once, it's not happening, right?
Yeah.
And even if I do that, then you have to record it. And then even if you're paying someone to edit it, you still have to give them notes, right?
Yeah.
So I get wrapped up in that. So it's a lot easier to just do it live, say YOLO, fucking do it live, and then take that and ship it off to an editor and be like,
Yeah.
compress this down into like a highlighted 5 to 10 minute long video.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, like so one of the best examples of this I think is Doug. I don't know if you've seen any of Doug's videos, but his videos are like excellent, where he'd have like, you know, he'd have this concept like he used to do a lot with Skyrim. He was like, how many cheese wheels can I spawn before the game crashes, or that kind of stuff. So it was really cool to see like him, like you could binge watch his videos and then you can go to a stream and his stream title will be like the title of a future video. Like for example, one of the videos that I actually saw him record live was he was trying to beat the Smash Bros Brawl story mode, or Smash Bros Ultimate story mode, but every time he said a character's name it would restart. So like his chat were like baiting him into saying things that sound like the thing with his I feel like the appeal with him is he's also really great at programming, which is like such a good skill to have for that, because he can essentially turn any game into like a sandbox. And I think it's really cool. I think I always want to try and have more fun with how streams are structured, or interactivity with streams. I know like one of the things I saw on TikTok that I thought could be really cool to try and program was I saw this guy who anytime he said the word invincible, the title card for Invincible would show up. It's just like, I don't know, I think it's really cool. Like I have a bunch of like stupid redeems on my channel that like when I click a button it takes up the whole screen, and I think it's like really funny. And I think that's something I want to kind of do more with 2.0 is introduce the universe and the world of my VTuber into streams. One thing that I want to do that it could be a bit ambitious, but I think it is really cool. I don't know if you've played High on Life.
I haven't yet, and I keep looking at that in my Steam like list of games. I'm like, oh right, this game. I was really excited about this game. The problem is that game came out and then Justin Roiland had some issues. But like, I think it's probably still a good game. We'll just like look past that part. Right? Yeah.
Yeah. So like, there's this concept in High on Life. It's also in Rick and Morty as well. So I don't. If you've seen either,
I've seen like a few seasons of Rick and Morty. Yeah.
Yeah. So they have this thing called international TV. Or international cable.
Interdimensional cable.
Yeah. So I would love to kind of pull the wacky advertising out of that and like apply it to stream and have these like custom, like pre-made custom adverts, either featuring friends or featuring like my character and stuff, and just either playing them when ads play on stream or just like showcasing them like whenever. I have this like really cool idea of like just building. I love the idea of like commercializing space. I think it's really cool. It's really funny. So like 2.0 Koozie is going to play into that, where like,
are you excited for the Outer Wilds 2?
Oh, I need to play.
Outer Worlds 2, not
Outer Worlds.
Outer Worlds.
I wish there was an Outer Worlds 2.
There's not gonna. I don't think there's gonna be an Outer Worlds 2, unfortunately.
Outer Worlds. So I only played about 5 hours of the first one, but I do want to go back and play it before the second one.
If you like the idea of the commercialization of space, that
I think
is like
it's
literally
so
that
cool.
game.
I just like I love the idea. Like I have one of my one of the toggles I have asked for on my new model is like this fake like space soda. Right. And like I love the idea of like shilling a fake soda.
Absolutely.
Um,
Absolutely. You are indebted to them. You've signed a blood
yeah,
contract. You must
yeah.
regularly promote this fake ass soda.
That's the thing. Like,
you are indebted to the company.
I would love Kuzi to have so much renown as a bounty hunter that he's got these fake sponsors, like that are just like paying him, or just having it. It just opens. What's really cool about it is it opens up so much room for creativity, but it also opens so much room for like hiring artists to do it as well. I've been like, hey, I've got this really cool idea. Like, do you want to be part of it? And do you want to like try and place your mark on this world? Like, I'd love the lore to be way more center stage for 2.0.
Yeah, so this has nothing to do with my lore at all. It was kind of just something that happened, but the world kind of suck right now. Not going into details on that, but world kind of suck. And we had this whole stream where I was talking about, we're gonna make a gamer commune. We're gonna go into like the fucking wilds of Quebec and build a gamer commune. Look, I found these prefab like little housing pods on Alibaba. Let's build it. And we're like drawing it out. And we started referring to it as the Pommune, right?
Okay.
So anytime like we would be talking about bad world event, because it comes up occasionally on stream, right?
Yeah.
I would just be like, you know what, it's all fine, because we're gonna build the Pommune, everything's gonna be okay. And then I realized there was a natural evolution of this. And the natural evolution was, there's a Pommune. My chat's into the Pommune. Are we Pommunists?
Oh no.
And now we are making this into a thing. My audience used to be called My Specimens, because I was thinking, it's like sciencey, whatever. But oh my god, does Pommunist have a better ring to it? I have literally commissioned one of my friends to like make a flag symbol, right? I have a propaganda poster. I'm probably getting another propaganda poster made. Again, it has nothing to do with my lore. No. Nothing at all. But it's like like what you're talking about, this like fun fake thing, fake movement, fake whatever.
It's cool. It's just cool to have that space for like world building or just having multiple people put their mark on something. I think is really, really cool. And I don't know how I'm gonna pull it all off. Like I'll have to see, but
I think again, you just don't put too much weight on it, and like you can slowly introduce things with time, right?
I think scalability and like just having like I said, I think just having like the soda brand when I launched like the 2.0, I think it's cool, and being like, I don't know, I also like the Wally, like by and large from Wally is also like such just having all of these little things. I mean, there's so many VTubers who like do this so well. I don't know if you know like Taijiro. There's a VTuber called Taijiro. He does like, he's a PNG tuber, but he does all of this. He has like this whole kiosk thing, and he has this train system, and he has like this.
I know who you're talking about.
You know that guy?
I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
He's so cool. He's so creative, and it's like, it's so nice to be able to like just build something like that. So definitely one of the bigger things I'm looking forward to as I try and grow and evolve. So
yeah, I definitely think I don't do it so much, but like I definitely think it's a super cool thing to really take advantage of the fact that we are virtual, and that we are in virtual backgrounds and virtual environments, and we can really manipulate them in any way in which we please. Again, I'm very light on that, but I still think it's a great thing. It's kind of harder for me because I think if you're just chatting streamer, I think it's easier to integrate. It gets a lot harder when you're playing games. Yeah. Right? Because there's only really so much you can do. But again, I do think it's worthwhile to like look into and like try out, right?
For sure, yeah. So I mean, what is next? What do you have any big plans? Any things you'd like to do? Any wants? What are your to-dos for 2025? What are your things you are doing and things you want to do?
So like my big thing is I try to like not make it about specific numbers, because I think that it's really easy to get disappointed when you do things that way. But my goal is generally to grow. I'd like to continue growing on Twitch, and especially YouTube.
I want to regress. I want to stop growing.
I want to regress. I want to go backwards.
Road to one viewer.
Oh yeah, really. that would be really hard at this point. But yeah, no, I want to do that. But also I have a 3D model in the works. I have a new
Ooh.
outfit and in the works. More videos. Gonna probably play Kerbal again because like it's just good content. It's like it's free. It's a free YouTube video. I just have to figure out when I'm doing that. There are big things coming that I can't talk about, but there are big things coming.
Oh.
And I'm gonna do one of the really big things I want to do is actually go to conventions this year because last year I was locked down by my thesis and I couldn't go to Off-Kai and I couldn't go to TwitchCon. I've been to TwitchCon once, but I didn't get to go last year. So I want to go to Off-Kai. I want to go to TwitchCon. I'm going to be going to Anime North, and I'm going to hopefully go to Otakuthon.
When is Anime North?
Anime North is in
July.
No, it's the end of May.
Oh shoot! But that's here, right?
It's a month before Off-Kai. Yeah.
I think I gotta go. I go. I need.
I would highly recommend it. It is a good one.
Yeah, I think I moved.
Chill, so.
I think I moved to Canada end of 2023, so I missed it that year. I don't know what I was doing last year, but some BS stuff. Drama.
Yeah, I'm real sorry about that, by the way.
That's all good. We're in a better place. We're in a better place. But yeah, conventions for sure. I would love to go to a TwitchCon. I've always wanted to go.
Great.
They're always
People can
so
talk shit about it all they want. They can talk shit about all they want. I went once and it was fantastic. I had the best time. I think the most important thing is you do not room with people that are questionable. Even if they're your friends, you have to think to yourself, do I want to room with this person? Because I've heard nightmare stories, and every time someone had a bad time at TwitchCon, it was because they were rooming with someone who was a disaster.
Oh no.
So do that, room with a good person, and then you're gonna have a blast. I had such a good time. And that's when I became a little more relevant. And by that I mean I got partner with very little visibility in the VTubing space. Like very little visibility. Because like, you know, I was growing mostly on Reddit. A lot of VTubers are not on that subreddit. My Twitch activity was kind of like so lots of VTubers who are my size did not know that I existed at all. So I was kind of like isolated. And that sucks. The thing that you think is, oh, I'm gonna get partner, right? And then you know, everyone's gonna want to actually engage with me, right? That's not true. People are still gonna not know you exist if they didn't know you existed before. Right now you just have a check mark next to your name, and it's even more true now. It's more true now than ever because of they let you keep raid numbers. They let you like count raid numbers. It is easier now, right? It's just as valid. I'm not like invalidating anybody, but like it is easier, which means there's more partners, which means that it really means that you're not gonna get any special attention. You know what I mean? So,
I've been seeing it a lot recently, especially today on Twitter, where it's just like, oh, you know, they've changed these people quoting like the tweet. It's like, oh, they changed the requirements, and it's like, hey, it's like a big streamer, and it's like, hey, if you need help raids, like let me know. And it's like, that's cool. Like I'm glad they gotta help everyone and stuff like that, and I'm glad that it's a system. You know, I feel like networking is important, and if you have these big people rating you, I feel like you do deserve that kind of spot as well. But it is gonna be like, there are many people that think that once you hit partner, your numbers explode and you get so many opportunities.
Like, I know this is kind of, I don't want this to be insensitive of me to say because I'm partner, right? And because I'm doing well. And if you aren't, then it's like, you know, you're talking down from your high horse, but partner doesn't really mean that much. And if you do think it means that much and it makes someone, if you think it makes someone better or like more important because they have a check mark next to your name, you are mistaken. You are so mistaken. Even if you get partner, you should still have goals after that to keep growing, right? I think a lot of the problem is people set their target on partner and then nothing else afterwards. So they'll get partner and then they'll just drop because they've run out of steam, right? They've run out of steam. They have no plans. Like, and then I honestly think that's a worse place to be than not having partner is having the check mark, knowing that you did reach that once and never being able to achieve that again because you quite frankly blew your load, right? So
Yeah.
I think it's better to like slowly pace yourself to get there. But again, I went on a tangent, but the good thing about going to TwitchCon was, again, I had literally no attention. I remember I got partner.
Yeah.
I went to Anime North. I remember sitting in a car with people who were bragging to me about like all their VTuber stuff. And I knew they were significantly smaller than me, and I'm like, okay, I'm just sitting there like it's the like meme of like they don't know anime.
They don't.
Right? I'm like, I'm not gonna steal their thunder. I'm not gonna say anything, but it's just like they
so
don't
funny.
know. They don't know. Like, okay.
Yeah, that's so funny. It's like someone in like a competitive game being like, "Oh, bro, I hit plat. Like I'm so good," and you're like
just
top.
sitting there like fucking challenger, and you're like, "That's great, honey. That's great, dear." Wow, this is fantastic.
Yeah.
But then I went to TwitchCon and I had that really handy dandy badge around your neck that says partner on it.
Yeah.
So I was to some degree taken a little more seriously, and I got to network with a lot more people, a lot of people that I know in this space that are that like I respect a ton.
Yeah.
And I was able to actually network. Right.
Yeah.
So I made a lot of connections at my first TwitchCon, which made me feel really good because it's like, oh wow, I'm less isolated now. This is great. So I love TwitchCon.
I feel like
TwitchCon.
A lot of people forget that networking and putting yourself out there and looking at the right places for opportunities is a skill, and it's something that you need to build over time. I've been working in the gaming industry since like 2018 in social media and stuff like that. But even like in my personal projects in VTubing and when I was a facecam streamer as well, like I'd always do the effort to reach out to people and you know, put myself in front of the right eyes and for a lot of people it's hard. I mean, like I think my first collab as a VTuber was with like two VTubers who were like, you know, like they had like over 10k like the followers, and I was like I was there like with like 25 followers and was like PNG tuber, and I was like, what am I doing here, like that kind of thing. So I think it's important to put yourself out there, especially for networking opportunities, because it's there's so much good that comes from like there's a lot of people who think that these opportunities are out of reach because of their numbers, but I feel like personality and the gusto like the right approach for these opportunities can definitely swing you in the right direction. So I think everyone should always try and especially if they're in the VTuber space, try and attend a convention. I know for many people, especially those in the VTuber community who struggle with, you know, social anxiety and stuff like that, I think it's a challenge that they can try to overcome, but I know it's scary. But I think nothing like there's always some great stuff that can come from a convention.
Well, like,
I just haven't been in so long.
Yeah, I can speak to that though, because I am awful colossal garbage at networking with people online. I don't do it. I straight up do not do it. I just don't have the bandwidth. I don't want to come off as fake. All the like typical like social anxiety stuff. But I'm much better in person, right?
Sure.
I'm very sociable in person. I am very good at just talking with people. That's why conventions are really good for me, because I can do the thing that I can't do in DMs. Right, and it's much more natural for me personally.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Yeah, and I know it's something I have to get over, but I just can't. I'm like, it's multi-tiered though, because it's like I don't want to be a burden. I don't want to come off as weird. I also like, again, you have to have a plan, right?
Yeah.
If you reach out to someone because you're interested in collabing, you can't just be like, hey, let's game.
Yeah, there has to be some has to be some structure, there has to be some plan.
Right.
Like, I mean, it's very much like that is so true for my first collab, that, you know, I didn't know these people. I saw them from just watching them on Twitch, and I was like, hey, I want to have this Friday the 13th collab. Like, I want to get,
Right.
8 VTubers, like, to
Right.
just spend, a couple hours playing Friday the 13th on Halloween. What's really funny about that is I think out of the 8 there, I think like 2 of them are still around.
Right.
I think
Yeah.
because either getting canceled or just graduating. It's so
Yep.
funny, like seeing that collab, because there was so much like it's like that Incredibles is the section of the Credibles where they're going through like the superheroes, and it's like eliminated,
Right.
like
Oh, 1000%.
it's like it was like that for the collab, because I was speaking with I think Valak, VTuber friend of mine. He was one of the people in that collab, and we're like we meet him in person because he's local too, so it's like we quite often like meet up and hang out, and we're like like that collab was so cursed because there's so many people who are like 2 of them graduated and like 6 of them like got canceled. It's like it's crazy to see that, but
well, like I remember it was like even like a couple of years, like a year and a half ago. Again, I started in 2022, so I was looking for like references for I think like a character reveal graphic.
Sure, yeah.
And I remember thinking, oh, around the time when I did my like debut or whatever, there were a couple of like graphics that I really liked, so I'm gonna go back and try to find them. Right?
Yeah.
So I did, and all the fucking people who I was so jealous of because they got like 1,000 likes on their reveal, they're all gone. Every single one of them. They're like, I don't even like, that person doesn't stream. They hasn't been streamed in a year. That person doesn't stream. They just all dropped it, right? And it's like, wow. And like, of course, even just in general, like people you're friends with or whatever.
Yeah.
I haven't really been close with that many people who've gotten canceled, but I have been with people who have graduated.
Yeah.
Right. I've seen a lot of graduations, and I'm just like,
it's sad. It's like it's bittersweet, right? Because obviously if you're like good friends with them, like they'd still hang out with you after they graduate, like on Discord and stuff. But there's unfortunately, especially in the VTuber community, there's some cases where they can't because they've graduated to a different position or that kind of stuff, and in those cases it's like hard. It's like so bittersweet because you're like so happy for them and proud, but then it's like, man, I mean, like I have that I've experienced that once, but yeah, it's such a unique case because like I don't think there's any other industry or a community where that can happen. I guess it's like it's so weird. Like maybe if someone became an actor or something.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the other thing too is like a lot of people that do graduate, but not for that reason. It's because the VTubing was bad for them, right?
Yeah.
It was bad for them. It was bad for their mental health. And it's like you don't want to cheer on your friend giving up, but it's also like I know this is better for you.
Yeah,
to not
exactly.
be doing this, and I want you to do what's best for yourself. Yes, you are pushing this to the side. You're stopping doing this thing that you really tried hard at, but hey, maybe you'll be happy. You know what I mean? And I want my friends to be happy. So, like one of my closer friends when I was like earlier on, she graduated after I would say like a year. And again, this was like one of those situations where I had a little bit of like jealousy for her because she had done like her debut went so much better than mine, right? She had a lot of traction on Twitter. Her debut went so much better, and like this is like a jealousy where like it was envy. It was like, oh, I wish I had that, but I was never gonna tear her down for it. You know what I mean? I was just gonna work harder. But the problem was she had never streamed before. Yeah. So she started VTubing. So she peaked. But because she had never streamed before, she wasn't really like confident in her streaming, and she hadn't really figured out like any of that. Yeah. So naturally, even if she'd had that stuff figured out, like she would have dropped no matter what. But she did like taper off, where I think she was like sitting at like 50 CTV, which is it's still really good, especially when you're starting out. But I think she saw that as a failure because it was like a fraction of what she got during her debut.
Yeah, there's like that post Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like that post debut depression where it's like you see
Yeah.
the numbers and then you start to realize, oh, you're not maintaining them or stuff like. I
Right.
mean, my debut wasn't colossal either. I think similar to
yeah.
you, it was, I had 30, 40 viewers, and it was like still
Mhm.
like coming from a face cam streamer who averaged 8 to 10. It was like
Right.
nice,
Yeah.
and then seeing it going back down, you're like, damn,
Oh,
like
man.
what do I do? Like, but I think one of my favorite things, or one of my good pieces of my advice for kind of dealing with numbers is like find something that you're passionate about. Like for me, it's like covers or singing or karaoke. Like when I'm doing that, I don't care. I don't care if there's no people watching. Like when numbers really hurt the most is when you're just playing a random game for no real reason. Like for example, I remember like one of my very earliest Vtuber streams just after debut. I was playing like Dragon Quest 11 and like the whole stream, it was like 3-hour stream, like no one showed up, and I was like,
oh no.
I was like so defeated after that. So I think it's very much just like, yeah, like find some purpose in what you're streaming as opposed to just like streaming aimlessly.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the other thing, my biggest piece of advice always is like, when you are smaller, you have benefits that you won't have when you're bigger, and that's you have the room to experiment.
Yes.
Right. It's better to experiment when you're small versus when you're big, because sometimes you will grow and you'll grow doing something that you don't like, and then you try changing, and then you lose a lot, and that sucks. So I think it's better to figure your shit out before you start growing and accidentally pigeonhole yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah. For sure.
Like it's.
I was thinking of that recently because.
And you gotta love it. You gotta love streaming. Otherwise, there's like literally, if you plan to like do this, as like you have ambitions of maybe doing this as a career, like I think that's fine to aspire to that, right?
Yes.
Even if like it's not likely to happen anytime soon, I think it's fine to aspire to it.
Yes.
You have to like it, because if you don't fucking like streaming, then how is it literally different than any other job? Right?
I gotta play Dead by Daylight today for 4 hours.
Like this sucks, and like no one's like, again, the big thing is like no one's talking, and I'm bored, and I'm lonely. I'm like, so why are you fucking doing it? Right? You gotta be having a good time, even if there's only like one person in chat or two people. You know what I mean? You gotta enjoy it. You gotta be doing it for you, because otherwise you might as well just work a different job that pays more consistently, that's more dependable. Right?
It's crazy, because again, there's many VTubers who like me who have full-time jobs as well. It's like full-time job, great, get off, stream, and then you're like, man, okay, so like why would you do that if you don't have a passion for it? Like it would be crazy. It would be crazy.
Like, fucking why?
You're essentially working another job but getting paid like way below minimum wage. It's like it's
like,
crazy.
Streaming is my happy place. It always has been, even when I was a 10 CCV streamer, right? So like that's why I can stream for so long. That's why I can stream for 8 hours. It's because like I'm just having a great time, and I'm relaxed, and I'm vibing, right? Like, obviously I really appreciate it, and I really enjoy it when I got way more viewers. Like, that's great. That definitely gives me energy. Yeah. But it's not necessary, right? Like, I guess now, if I had a massive drop, I would be bummed about it.
Sure.
But I don't think you can pry streaming from my you're not gonna pull it from my fucking cold dead hands. I'm never gonna stop. Like, you can't stop me, man. I'm gonna keep going.
I played through
drop off,
I played through every Kingdom Hearts game on stream, and it was wild. And it was just, Kingdom Hearts was my favorite. It's my favorite franchise. Kingdom Hearts 2 is my favorite game of all time, and being able to like experience those games again, like under like a more recent light, but more importantly with people, I think was so. It creates this period of time that's like Like it's like a core memory unlocked. It's like what like
Yeah.
I look at that franchise completely differently now because I experienced it with people like in chat, like freaking out about something, or like inside jokes, or there's so much stuff. Like I feel like streaming can really just enhance an experience, and to have first time experiences with the chat. Like one of my favorite things I love to do is like watch those like game presentations like on
Right, yeah.
stream. I love
yeah,
doing
yeah.
that because it's like just experiencing new, like, again, being in the game industry for so long, I'm so locked into that stuff. I'm so locked into like gaming news and always up to date with that stuff. So being able to be like, oh, let's watch this Sony thing for like 40 minutes
Right.
and just like freak
Yeah.
out about everything that's, or like,
Yep.
it's so funny because anytime there's like an FPS or a shooter, everyone like in my chat's just like sleep next game kind of thing. It's just, it's
yeah,
really
yeah,
funny.
I've done that for the Summer Games Fest stuff.
Yeah,
for,
yeah.
Especially the Xbox stuff, because like that's Bethesda and
Of
Obsidian
course,
and
yeah.
like all that. But yeah, no, watching the trailers and being like, oh, hype, and then like the next one is, yeah, it looks like a Fortnite clone.
You're like,
oh,
next game,
okay.
please.
And then the next one is like some sort of like tower, not a tower builder, but like kingdom builder that's like
Yeah.
trash looking. You're like, oh, skip that.
And then Starfield comes up and you're like, oh, let's go.
Screaming at the top of your lungs. Yeah, no. But yeah, no, that's definitely is good time. Yeah, I've played. What other games I've played on? I played when I first started streaming. I played Fallout New Vegas for the second time and the DLC for the first time. And I still remember, even though my chat was tiny, I still remember everyone saying during Dead Money. I don't know if you've played the Dead Money DLC of New Vegas.
No, I actually haven't played New Vegas. It's one of the I played 3 and I played 4, but I've not played New Vegas.
You should play New Vegas.
I played the start of New Vegas and I accidentally killed the dog in the tutorial and uninstalled it.
That's so real.
I should.
Just like
I
the
should.
guilt overwhelmed you, and you're like, I can't do this anymore.
I should play New Vegas. I should.
It's definitely of the Fallout games, it has the best storytelling. I don't think anyone's gonna argue that.
On that note, are you going to play Avowed?
Yes.
Exciting. I've heard mixed things about it, but at the same time, I'm exactly. I'm a person who's like, one of my best friends, one of my mods as well, always says that if a koozie, like a game is a koozie game if it has like a 6 out of 10 on Steam.
Oh yeah.
Like,
well, again, you're talking to the Starfield VTuber. I know. Like, I want to point out that did I pre-order all of them? No, not Starfield, because I was given a code for that. But like, I was early in on the launch of Fallout 76, Starfield, and No Man's Sky.
yeah, true. Base No Man's Sky was crazy.
I maintained my enjoyment of all of those games, and I'm assuming like Starfield's gonna keep getting worked on. I still like it, but I've maintained my enjoyment of those games even from the beginning. Okay, even when everyone else fucking hated them, I was dedicated. I was like, I'm having a good time, and this has good bones. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I totally get that. With Avowed, what I'm looking for is, again, I played the Outer Worlds, and Obsidian, who made the Outer Worlds and Fallout New Vegas, they are really, really good at morally gray options, right? Which is my favorite. So they'll give you like, there'll be a quest where you have to make 2 choices, and one of them seems like it's probably the better choice.
Yeah.
And then you choose it. And then you have the game recap at the end, and it's like, yeah, you chose the good faction, but the good faction actually sucked at managing this town, and everyone fucking died. And you're like,
it's like that thing. I think I saw a meme of it before. It's like choosing the option, and that option just like going completely opposite of what you thought it would be.
Yep. That is an Obsidian thing. Like, they are really good at not being obvious about which one is the better choice, and usually both choices have downsides, right? Yeah. So that happened in Outer Worlds and New Vegas, and I want that in Avowed. And if they do that in Avowed, I'm happy.
So. Yeah, I'm excited about Avowed because, one, it's on Game Pass, so I don't have to drop like 70
Yep.
bucks to play it.
Yeah.
Two, I've heard the combat and the exploration are like fantastic. So
Oh man, you're getting
it's
me
been
excited.
it's been a
Yeah.
while since I've jumped into like a big I say a big RPG, but I did currently just recently start Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, so
Mhm.
that's gonna be my stream for like the next
Yeah,
few
yeah,
months.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I think the last like Western RPG I jumped into was Dragon's Dogma 2, and it was like
Mm-hmm.
it completely like engulfed me for like
Right.
like 40-50 hours, and it was
Right.
crazy. Like it's crazy because I've been trying to do this more recently, where if I want to play, I used to avoid big games on stream because it's kind of hard to kind of retain people when you're playing like
Right.
a big, especially a big story focused game for
Yeah.
a long period of time. But I think what I did for Dragon's Dogma was I was like, Dragon's Dogma 2 is coming out. I'm only going to play this for the next. So like that was
Right.
my whole streams. Like
Yeah.
I was no longer a variety streamer. I was a Dragon's Dogma 2 streamer, and
Right.
approaching it like that, I felt was really cool because I could just like put so much focus on it. So I am excited to play Avowed. I will probably play Avowed after Rebirth, but Rebirth's gonna take me a while. But what I've been doing recently, I have this new series called Bounty Board, which I'm 100% in games on stream. Got like little trophies that pop up, and anytime I get an achievement and stuff like that. So the first one I did was Spyro Reignited trilogy, and that was so much fun to just do that. So I think Avowed is going to be. We're currently doing Batman Arkham Asylum for that franchise now, and then after that I'm gonna do Ty the Tasmanian Tiger because it's one of my favorite platformers from back in the day. But I think after that I think I can slot Avowed in there because Avowed also like the Outer Wilds or those are two names.
The Outer Worlds.
Like the Outer Worlds is not very long. Apparently it's meant to be like 30 to 40 hours, which is like perfect. I think that's perfect.
The longest you can make it longer by doing side quests. That's usually how it is. Like big ass world,
it's gonna fall between that 30 to 50. Let's be generous and say 30 to 50 hours, which is great. I think like games like that where you're like Dragon's Dogma 2 was like that. I beat it in 40 hours and I did a lot of like side content as well, and it was the perfect length to be like, I'm done.
I'm looking at my 271 hours in Starfield. I'm still not done.
How have you not finished it?
It's because I was streaming it once a week. I'm streaming it once a week, and that's it. When I was writing my thesis, if that.
That's me with Rebirth now. I'm 11. I think I'm 11 hours into Rebirth, and I just finished chapter 3, and I'm like, I'm gonna be here for like another 70 hours. But
the worst part about it for my chat is that Starfield, I have to finish Starfield before I start Cyberpunk. I'm not touching Cyberpunk until I finish Starfield because
Cyberpunk is one of my favorite games of all time.
It's a lot of people's favorite games, and I can't wait to play it. But the problem is, it's too similar. It's a giant ass. It's an open world sci-fi game, right? That's gonna take forever to finish. I'm not playing them both at the same time.
Well, to be fair, I think it might have changed with Phantom Liberty because I've not played Phantom Liberty yet. I am doing a second playthrough right now, just personally, but my first playthrough of Cyberpunk to 100% it took 80 hours.
Yeah, then it's gonna take me 150. I'm very slow at playing video games. I'm like the least efficient gamer of all time.
But oh man, Cyberpunk's the world building. Like I'm such a big fan of like Blade Runner and stuff like that. Like so, I was lucky enough to play Cyberpunk like after all of the bugginess. I think I played it when patch like 2.4 or 2.5 came out, so like the game was in such a better position, and I'm so excited to be able to play more of it because of Phantom Liberty. Like that's another like whatever 25 hours or 20 hours of content just to experience. But I think Cyberpunk's like world, like just the way they convey their world and their like just it's so grungy. It's so like just lived in, and I love it. I think there's very
Yeah.
few games that I think Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is probably one that will emit that same feeling if I do ever get around to it, because I'm once again probably gonna play the first one of that game before I play the
Right.
second, and
Right. Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
big
Yeah.
games. But I don't know. I love when games just. I think No Man's Sky does this quite well as well. When especially I don't know if you've ever tried No Man's Sky VR, but
I have, and it's so well done. Like
it's
they just did
mind
such an
blowing.
exceptional job on it. Well, it's because they didn't do the lazy thing where they're just like,
It's
okay, we're just gonna port this over and do like the bare minimum. It's like, no, if you
Oh
want to
my
pick a
God.
plant, you pick the plant.
I
You put your
remember-
hand down, you pick it. You want to get into your spaceship, you have to pull the hatch up. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
remember taking off in my spaceship for the first time and just being absolutely, one, almost throwing up, and two, being absolutely like blown away, just like idling in space. It's true, like it's something that you truly cannot like. You can't believe until you see it, and like just like
no, it's
being able to
fantastic.
fly the ship with like two hands, like on the levers. It's so cool.
It's awesome. They did such a good job with that. The problem is like I just can't. I don't have the stamina for VR like I do with like stuff on the computer. So like I think I played like an hour and a half of it in VR, and like that was cool. And then like
I'm
done.
good.
That's enough. That's enough. Super cool. I need to take a nap now. Felt like real work. Damn.
But yeah, I mean, best of luck with Cyberpunk. I think once you finish Starfield, I think I think you'd really love it. I think it's a really special game.
I'm excited. I've been having a good time with Starfield. I do think, and I know coming from me, this is rich, but like I do think that it got way too much hate. I think at worst it's mediocre.
Sure.
You know what I mean? I don't think it's bad. I don't think it was ever anywhere near bad. It's just, I think I saw a post the other day that described it really well. It just is a Bethesda game with some more modern features in it in a different environment. They didn't really like they might have done some things that were like really cool, like the shipbuilding thing or whatever, but it's one of these, it's not super innovative thing. But that's okay, right? To me,
I feel like it was way overhyped. I feel like it got the same kind of flack as Cyberpunk did, but Cyberpunk they turned it around.
But Cyberpunk initially deserved it more because
100%.
Cyberpunk wasn't playable, right?
The fact that it was
difficult to play.
One of the only games that got removed from the PlayStation Store after launch was crazy because because they were selling a PS4 version of a game that ran at like 15 frames a second. It's crazy.
Right. Like Starfield is one of the least buggy Bethesda games to release. Does it have bugs? Sure, but it was definitely not what Fallout 4 or 76 were like when they launched, right?
Yeah.
It was, I think I only encountered one really major bug multiple months in, and then it got patched out, right? But it was one of the least buggy games they've released. I think a lot of the questing is really, really good, but the problem with Starfield is that it's too spread out. It's way too spread out. They took a bunch of really good content, and then they spread it out across like a bajillion planets. And then to get to each planet, you have to go through multiple loading screens. Right? And that's the problem. If they invested too much in the procedurally generated worlds, which was like a really poor decision in my opinion, like they have like a bunch of factions. They have the United Colonies, which is like the more military-esque faction. They have the Freestar Collective, which are kind of like more bounty hunter, cowboy types. They have the Kinsman Fleet, which are like the raiders. And then as part of the DLC, they have House Varun, which are like the snake cult people.
Okay.
I think they should have had one system, like per faction.
Per faction.
And then if you want to add a bajillion other systems that are just straight up procedurally generated with no content on it, just so that people can choose a planet and build a base, fine. Like, okay.
Yeah.
Then you could have like a mini version of No Man's Sky in it, but the rest of it should be in a handful of systems and in a handful of maps, because they took away the wanderability. That was a really big problem. When you land on a planet at a unique location, the only thing unique is the place that you have landed next to. Everything around that location is procedurally generated, right? So if they say, go to this mine to deal with these raiders as part of this quest, the mine is going to be unique, but then there's going to be a bunch of all this random crap around it. You're not going to go run off in a random direction like you would in Fallout or Skyrim or anything like that, because there's no point.
Yeah,
right?
It feels like there was very much a lack of player agency. It's like you're going to do this thing, and that's kind of all you're at this location
you
for.
Go do all those other things, but you're just collecting items. Like there's no there's nothing unique, because like a really big part of like Fallout games and Skyrim and all that is like you wander off in a random direction, you find an unmarked shack. Okay.
Yeah.
You go into a shack and a story is being told by like the things that are scattered around, right? That doesn't happen as much in Starfield.
Yeah, I think that's what I loved most about Dragon's Dogma 2. I think games that have unguided exploration are very overwhelming to me a lot of the time, where it's like, oh, there's this big open world, go explore it. But the thing with Dragon's Dogma 2 was the world was so masterfully crafted that like every direction you chose had something to explore, and then in that explorable area there was like, you know, for example, one of the first areas you go to, you can wander off the beaten path and find like a little witch shack, and like in there's like a girl who wants to learn magic, and like 20 hours later you go back to that witch shack and she's like possessed her parents, and you're like, oh, like, this is my fault. Like there was so much of that in that game, and I think it's really cool, and that's something I'm excited to kind of explore about. I should really play the Outer Worlds before I play Avowed, but
it's kind of up to you. I'm kind of bummed. I was hoping I could sneak in a key, like a free key for Avowed, and that did not happen. But then I got Game Pass for free for a month, so I think I might just do it that way.
I think that's how I'm gonna play it as well. It sucks because like that's very, as someone who is trying to to do more achievement stuff, I don't know if I want to do that, but we'll see. It's gonna be a while before I play it. If I want to do it for Bounty Acquired, it'll be a while, so maybe I'll just pick it up on sale or something. But well,
like I know that I keep saying this, it was my fault that I didn't get a code. If I had gone on Twitter and something and been like, and said that enough times, I'm sure I would have gotten a key, but I didn't. Now it's kind of late, so I'm just like, okay, you know. Like I'm sure I could email, but like I don't even know the Obsidian email. I just not this time. It's fine.
Outer Worlds 2. Outer Worlds 2. That will be your...
2. I'm going whole hog on that because like my branding's right. I have a good track record.
Oh, that's good. That's out this year too. Maybe that's a debut 2.0 game for me as well.
No, again, the Outer Worlds is literally corporate hellscape
so excited.
On the edge of space, right? That is what that is.
I think the reason I stopped playing, because I think when I started it, it was part of, I think I started playing it when I was doing my big subathon to move to help move to Canada. So I was playing it for like extended periods of time, but I think what happened was my PC like ran out of it literally ran out of space, so it wouldn't let me sit. It wouldn't let me save.
No.
So I think I lost. I think I lost like 4 hours of progress, and I was like, I'm uninstalling this game.
That sucks.
I think what I'm gonna do. I mean, let me check how many hours do I have in the game. It's gotta be like I feel like I have like 9 hours. Outer Worlds. 7 hours. So 7 hours. Right. So I feel like I could jump into it and be okay with continuing. Because, like, the thought of playing 7 hours of the start of a game again kind of makes me want to play it less. But I feel like I was like, a good jumping on point to be like, okay, I can probably just continue. Like, I remember I was going all into, like gunslinger, pistol kind of playthrough. So I think I could probably go into it and just,
see, one of my biggest issues is, like, I played the base game 1.5 times. And by that, I mean, I played it through once completely. And then the DLC came out. I'm like, okay, I want to play the DLC, but it's been years since I played The Outer Worlds, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back and play it again so I remember everything,
Yeah.
right? And then I finally got to the point where it's like, okay, this is like the right level to start doing the DLC.
Mhm.
And then for some reason, I just didn't. And then I never went back to the game again. And I'm assuming it's because I got busy with something, or you know what I mean? Like I don't know what happened. I got busy, and now
Yeah.
it's like, well, do I start it again? Or do I
Yes.
just like go in and
Yeah.
wing it? You know what I mean? Do I go into an
Yeah.
old save and
I
just
mean,
say,
I
fuck
feel
it,
like
e-ball?
if it's a DLC, I feel like you're probably safe enough to be like, okay, you know, I've played this game. I you know, you're jumping into like a new set of characters, a new set
Right.
of potentially a new location. I don't know anything about the DLC, but
Yeah. But
probably
I don't
like
think I'm
that.
streaming it because like, hey guys, let's start streaming this game that I've already played through once by myself and played through again without you guys. Well, we're just gonna do the DLC though. It's gonna be like, what? Like, you
Yeah.
don't know, like right? Like it's like I have to play it on my own time, but like I don't really have my own time.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Maybe like save it for like a week before Outer Worlds 2 comes out and being like, hey, we're gonna this is a reason why we're playing the DLC.
Yeah, see, the problem is I do need to at least play, like, I want to play Avowed anyways, but I have to either play Avowed or the Outer Worlds on my stream because I want that track record
Yeah,
for when I try to pitch myself to Obsidian and be like, hey guys,
Yeah.
like I played it on stream, right? Like I do like it. I promise I like it, right? So
Promise I like your games.
I promise I've just only played New Vegas on stream 6 years ago, but I swear I'm like a big fan. Yeah, no.
That's so funny. Yeah, I was like, it's kind of similar to what happened recently. I just finished the first tape of a game called Lost Records, Bloom and Rage. It's from the same people who made the first 2 Life is Strange games. So don't nod. And I was going to be like, hey, like, check out, I played all of the Life is Strange games on stream, but I realized, like, half of the Life is Strange games at this point are not made by Don't Nod. They're made by Ep.9. Right. So I'm like, I was just like, I just bought it. I was like, I'll next time. Like, next time I'll play a Don't Nod game, I'll be like, hey, look, I played Lost Records. But yeah. Okay, I mean, I think that's probably gonna wrap us up for today. Thank you, Pomato, so much for joining me.
Yeah,
I think it was so much fun hanging out and finally having a nice long conversation. I know we've been in each other's circles for a long time, so it's good to kind of cross that bridge and hang out for a bit. So for folks watching, if you want to go check out Pomato, go check them out. They are wonderful. They are currently playing Alan Wake 2.
Alan Wake 2, Starfield, and occasionally No Man's Sky, and probably some other stuff at some point. I don't know. We'll see. Got big games I'm playing, so yeah.
But yeah, so I think that's gonna be it. Let me see. Who are we gonna raid? We're gonna pass the raid over to. Let's see. Let me see. We're gonna go raid. We are going to raid. Oh, there's so many people live.
I know. There's a lot of people live right now.
Oh, Valak. Valak is playing Persona 3. So we're going to toss the raid over to little Valak. Nice. Do a quick raid. Boom. All right. Bam. Thank you so much for watching. I will be back tomorrow. I don't know what we're doing tomorrow. Sims or Final Fantasy, one of those. I think that's the main rotation we do here, though. So, thank you so much for hanging out. I appreciate it. Thank you for all the follows today. Thank you for sharing your community with me as well, Pomato. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on. It was fun.
And yeah, I will see you all later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.